Get Into Geek. This is episode 40. We've hit the hit that peak, gentlemen.
Dirty 40. No,
We're talking Stargate.
Naughty
40,
40, that's the one.
All naughtiness of it. This is the full Get Into Geek team. My name is Mitch. Joining me as always, Matty Gibson.
Hi.
Brendan.
Yo.
Rhys.
Hello.
We are Get Into Geek, talking nothing but our love of Stargate SG-1. Matty, Brendan, and myself, long-term veteran fans of the show. Rhys, you're new to it, mate. You're experiencing it for the first time. You're enjoying it so far. Good to hear. And we're just rewatching it with him, talking about it in hindsight. Or Rhys looks at it through fresh eyes. And just here to talk a lot about Stargate SG-1. This is Season 2, Episode 19 of the show, One False Step. Is it, though? Maybe?
Look, I'm going to start off because I think this is the first or second episode of SG-1 I've ever saw.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you started in Season 2, eh?
Yeah. And I
You
was
kept
only
watching. Good for you.
No. Actually, I think it could have been the second one because the first one was Season 3, I want to say. I was watching it on a cable rerun show channel. And it was one from Season 3 and then this one after it. And I was like, oh, okay. So they go and do different things. That's interesting.
What was the Season 3 episode?
It was, I can't remember the name of it now. It was the one where that ship that we mentioned comes into it. Transport ship.
Oh, Dead Man Switch.
That's it. Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know why I covered my ears. I'm just going to listen to this back anyway.
At least you'll hear yourself trying to not hear anything.
Yeah.
Dead Man Switch is good. I enjoyed it. Anyway,
We'll get to that in a few
we're
months'
here.
time.
This one false step. So
Yep. Let's go to the synopses.
let's talk about that.
On the DVD, on a routine reconnaissance mission, the SG-1 team discovers a new friendly life form. But the encounter turns deadly for the new race because of a virus SG-1 inadvertently introduces. Can SG-1 develop a vaccine before this plague eradicates a peaceful civilization? Dun, dun, dun.
It's just a
That's
flat
a
out
blatant lie. Yeah.
That's bullshit.
There's no vaccine. There's
Guys,
no virus.
you seem surprised every week when Mitch reads these
Well,
out.
I
Like,
think
oh, that's
Season
not
1
right.
really set us up for a lot of,
It lulls us, like last week's was pretty accurate, so it kind of lulled us into this false sense of security. It's like, oh, these are getting better, these synopses, and then pow, right in the kisser. Like, just
one
Suck on
false
that.
step, one false bullshit. Say what? Hey, okay, and look, we had a listener write in a couple of weeks ago who said, "Yeah, really can't wait for one false step,"
oh, that was Ash, wasn't it?
and he just
Yeah.
laughed in an email. I could tell how sarcastic he was being. And yeah, you watch this and you're like, oh yeah, okay. It's just like we're getting towards the end of the season and we've got one of these sort of filler episodes. Really, I don't know. And then look at the writers, Michael Kaplan and John Sanborn, directed by William Corcoran. I don't recognise those names. I'm guessing they don't get to return a lot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is first and last. For all of them.
Writer directors, welcome to the Stargate team, guys. There's the door. Thanks for coming. There's a gift shop outside. Say hi to Walter. He's actually serving at the kiosk. Cheers.
He'll be back next season.
They just call him
Unlike you.
turnstile now.
I mean,
Yeah.
think about, you know, near misses. I mean, if this had been First Commandment, potentially these guys could have ended up running the show in 5 or 6 seasons.
Oh, zing!
Oh!
So, you know,
You're
got you
a
right.
zinger.
Got you right in the Cooper.
I guess... Pow! Right in the Cooper!
Well, okay, look, I should apologise because we do get ahead of ourselves some weeks, Rhys, where we taint the episode before we ask you, the new viewer, what you thought of it. What did you think of it, Rhys?
Come on now.
Oh man, I could see what they were getting at, where it's just like, it's so confusing, and then the answer right at the end. That makes a good episode, but it wasn't a good answer at the end of the episode.
It's giving me a headache.
It was
Until you walked away and you're like, why the headache's gone?
magic. All it was
It's like we
singing
were
plants.
actually on the planet. As soon as we left
Yeah.
it, the headache went away.
Now I have a little nitpick with this. Well, obviously the coolest thing about this episode was the UAV at the start,
Not the penis plants?
not the penis plants.
Oh.
They were cool though.
They were pretty cool. I do like them
Would have thought so,
on a
buddy.
Saturday night, and
Ooh, you've planted a couple.
that never gets old. Jack's line, I love that. That never gets old as it flies through the event
Yeah.
horizon.
He sort of like
And
goes
it's
back and just
fucking
be
cool.
kicking, and I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like, yeah, it doesn't look old.
but I think this is the first episode where the indigenous people aren't near the gate. So I think it was
Yeah.
10 miles away. And I couldn't help but think, after the second or third time they came back and forth, wouldn't a gate buggy be good?
Yeah.
maybe call it a puddle jeep or something like that. Like,
Just something to transport.
yeah,
I
li-
mean, they've got the melt, but they travel at about 1 kilometre an hour.
yeah,
Or
but
just
they're
a couple
fueled by
of-
rocket fuel. That's the weird thing.
A couple of motorbikes with the sidecar. Like, come on.
Absolutely.
God, that would look so
You're the-
It's a
cool.
four-wheeler though.
You're
just
the
like,
military. Like, you've got access to them.
I just want
Yeah.
to see that. Like O'Neill's driving it, and Tilk's in the little passenger thing.
Oversized.
His head, yeah, right.
With
This is the only capsule I could find that could suit my body.
with eye goggles,
Yeah.
bugs
Oh, of
getting
course,
into his eyes.
How you going there, Tilk?
And the thing is, like, it's a 6-hour walk from what I figured. They did it 3 times, and it was still daylight. It never went dark.
Off planet, mate.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. One day lasts 9 Earth
I
months.
suppose, yeah, right at the end of the episode when Teal'c sort of starts fingering the goo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
Oh,
goo,
so
yeah.
confused.
Easy,
Oh.
guys, easy. And he, like, collapses in pain, and it never occurred to me. Yeah, he then had to, like, hike 10 miles in that pain
Yeah.
to get back through the gate.
And
Yeah.
just collapses as he reaches the SGC. Like, oh, thank God I made it.
And then
Another
right
step,
back up.
just
Yeah.
I would have been done.
10 miles. I
Yeah.
I couldn't help but think about that.
Which is good. We've finally got, like you said, a civilization that's not like camped around the gate.
Yeah.
Do we think maybe...
But then to like put so much stress on what should have been stress traveling to and from. Yeah.
Is this potentially one of the first planets we've been to from all the new addresses that Jack gave us in the 5th race, maybe?
That'd be cool. If they
You reckon?
mentioned that even.
Wouldn't it?
Really?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because the address that he gave of the world, I guess it's the new gate technician or...
Oh, Urkel.
Oh, wannabe Walter. Young.
Extremely tan
cool.
Walter.
Oh, Jesus.
He said...
Honestly, though, he's like a younger version. Yeah, glasses. He's balding. Like, come on.
If only we had a technician who had a bit of a chromey dome, so we could bounce some light off it to get up to Don Davis's face, and wore glasses so we looked intelligent. If only we had a technician like that.
Can't think of one.
No,
I
can't think of
would've-
one. Let's just hire this
would've thought
Urkel guy.
But the address he gave that was PG82445.
Well done.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
Yeah,
An
which
extra number.
an extra digit.
Or does he have a
Ooh.
stutter and you're just being really insensitive?
Well, maybe.
We've had Tilk fingering and an extra digit already
Wow.
in this.
And
Just
some
throw
Nice
kind
of
of,
you to point that out.
and some
special.
kind of green discharge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you might be right. It very well could be one of those extra
well,
planets
it's
that
obviously
they've given the.
been untouched by the Goa'uld, and these clearly aren't human. They're not obviously can't have originated from Earth and been
Yeah.
transposed onto
Because
this planet.
their insides were different, weren't they? When they
Yeah,
did
They had
they
a heart
had
in their stomach. I
Heart
think.
right down.
Yeah,
right
and then
down
when
low,
when they were trying to do CPR on him, they're doing pressures on the bloody chest, and I'm like, that's not where his heart is, mate.
Yeah.
Like, for all you know, you're probably whacking him off right now.
I just love when he did collapse that first guy, and Carter goes over and goes, I can't find a pulse, but I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, probably that he's fucking dead.
check the zipper on his back.
Okay, look. Okay, that's where I started to get real, like, okay, this episode, it's not a life changer. It's gonna rank in my bottom 7 at the end of the season. You know, let's actually look at other things. You know, the things that they don't focus on in the dialogue and the script or whatever. Are they? My first question before they slowly started answering things: are they supposed to be wearing suits, or are we pretending like their dicks are out? You know, like
No,
because
no.
At the start,
at the start, they don't show a lot of sort of, you know, like below waist sort of shots. And then they do.
Yeah.
But then they go to Daniel and they start painting him and he comes out and he goes, oh, this paint, it actually, once it hardens, it becomes like a second skin. I'm
Yeah.
like, so have they painted themselves so many times
Yeah.
that now they're like a Ken doll?
They're
How are they
different. Well,
reproducing?
what-
How are they peeing? Are
No,
they
I-
even
what
eating?
makes
Do
you
they
think they
need
even
to
had
do-
one to begin with?
That's what I mean.
Maybe
Their
they were
hearts are in the stomach.
maybe they were the Unsullied originally.
Grey worm.
Well done.
Grey worm.
Well done.
But at the start, like, I think they were supposed to be naked because O'Neill at the start called them white, bald, and naked. Like
Oh,
Blade.
yeah,
I, I always
When
thought
they
of
saw-
it as like organic clothing. Like it kind
Yeah.
of it grew on them like a like.
Well, that's good, kind of, because they had like there was a close-up shot at one stage of like you just saw this guy's basically his elbow, and you
Yeah.
could see all the folds in the skin suit that
Yeah.
he was wearing. And I'm like,
And they
if you're not supposed to be wearing a suit, maybe don't do a close-up of that.
you
Yeah.
can
Call
see
me crazy.
the seam around their neck
Yeah.
that they try and
Yeah.
hide. You can see the zipper in the back in a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
shots.
Yeah.
That's like, come on, guys.
Because it is one of my first few episodes I watched, I kind of don't know. Obviously, it's not the best episode. I'm not saying that, but I have a little bit of nostalgia about it.
Oh, of course.
And it's a little quirky, and you have that quirky music that you have with I'm going to say Ergo, and then of course Come Try Boy, what's his name? Harlan. And I don't know. There's just something about this episode that I think if there was a few different tweaks, it could have been really good. They're just missing something.
That's what I wrote down here. Is I nothing this episode.
Yeah.
I don't like it,
Yeah.
but I don't hate it.
No.
Like it's like we were saying before. It's a really interesting concept.
Because if you were going out to distant galaxies, like obviously the premise of the show is it's populated by humans, but if you were going out into the galaxy, you would see some weird shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they
just-
would have evolved past their necessity for Earth, basically.
yeah, well, I think we're assuming, like Maddie said, that probably isn't an address that Jack put into the database, so probably it's not a human,
Yeah.
Goa'uld colonized world.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the same
So
way,
it's-
you know,
they're
like
completely alien.
like the Asgard would never. They didn't evolve on Earth or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right,
and
yeah, of course.
Yeah, all the Nox or anything like that. Even though the Nox do look quite human,
Mm.
I guess as much human as these guys look. But I feel like it belongs on a different sci-fi show. Like it's a really interesting sci-fi idea,
Yeah.
but I just don't think it belongs in Stargate.
Oh no, I get what you mean, yeah. But at the same time, I'm siding with Brendan where you say that if they tweak it a little bit, it's a very cool episode because we haven't really addressed this side of them traveling around wherever they want. Like they go to places, and there's places they go to in future episodes and seasons where, you know, they help start a conflict, you know, with the people. Like we see them go there and basically fix other cultures and go, no, that's not the way we do it in America on Earth. You should change the way that you do it on this alien planet that we've never been to before. But to actually go somewhere and be otherwise completely healthy, but to these guys who have never, you know, I guess what the stories we hear of, you know, in real history, indigenous cultures that didn't have, you know, the sicknesses of other nations that explorers brought to that country and brought sickness and disease that killed off a lot of people. So, I don't know. I just felt maybe because I was, you know, prejudging them because they were just sort of waddling around and,
It's almost,
you know, like some kind of weird Teletubbies
you
or
just
some
wanted
shit.
to fucking crack him in the head with a hammer, like,
Stop talking!
Stop doing that! Then just like, die! Oh, I'm so sorry. And then this guy goes, oh, and just sort of falls over and like, oh, great, a planet full of fucking hypochondriacs. Here we go.
Well, they're clearly very anemic, so you know they're susceptible.
But yeah, I like the premise of it where it's just like, okay, there's a high frequency that they sort of live off that
a
you
symbiotic
can't
relationship.
hear.
Yeah. If only
Like
there was
Joel
another,
and
if only there was another species in this universe that had a symbiotic relationship we could explore. I do like how it does drag on a lot, and there's a lot of red herrings of what's causing this, or for most of the episode it's we're causing this, or that's the, and the very 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 end, Hammond just sums it up brilliantly.
So this inaudible sound was making you sick, but not in the same way that it was affecting the aliens. They need the sound to live, but we altered it by harming the organism that makes the sound.
Sorry, what?
Sounds right.
Sounds right.
Really? I
forgot how that sentence started by the time we got
Like
to the
we've
end
said
of it.
before, endings are hard.
Endings
Like-
are hard.
That's
feel
why
like-
you're the general.
think he was doing what you say I do, Brendan, which I do, is just keep talking until something else pops into my head. Because he said a lot of words there. My
Yeah.
God, he said a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
It's basically the whole plot.
Yeah.
Like that's
he just
like
summed it
the
all up.
writer, or the
That was the pitch.
yeah, like this is what it is. All right, build an episode around that.
Yeah. No, I think the actual main crux of this episode that they were building to the main reveal at the end was clearly this.
I talked to my plants, okay?
Yeah.
That's all we need. That's what we can take away from this.
I think when they were trying to figure out why these people were dying, and then she was, Carter, that is, digging at the plants and looking at the veins, she's like, well, I'm no botanist, sir. And I'm just going, hang on, that reminds me of Enigma, where she goes, I'm not a volcanologist. I go, well, just tell us what you're not.
I've got 4 doctorates, but biology isn't one of them.
What else aren't you?
But it's funny because, like, from season 5 onwards, she knows everything that was ever created in the universe. So it's just funny looking back now, and she can't do things.
Can't deliver children.
Ooh.
Not as
She has
whoa,
a-
hold
she
on a
has-
second.
Oh,
Not
she's barren?
biologically. I meant, remember when we went to Argos and the woman was pregnant and she's like,
Yeah,
I don't know
no.
what to do, and Daniel delivered the baby.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Direct all your mail to Matt Gibson.
There are some little false bits trivia going around saying that this is Dr. Frasier's first time off-world. But she actually went off-world back in Singularity when we met Catherine. She was in her big...
Cassandra.
Where Cassandra is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is the first time I think we see her actually stepping through the event horizon.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that actually, because I nearly almost wrote that down for a note. Was that, oh wow, finally? I mean, she's actually getting a bit of a run. She's been in the last couple of episodes, and
Yeah.
now she's going off well. But yeah, it's not her first time.
She makes that great joke about a house call. Whew,
Oh, yeah.
zing.
Thanks, Doc. Yeah,
Oh, nailed
yeah.
it.
Just keep the jokes to yourself.
Now walk 6 bloody hours in your hazmat suit.
Yeah.
I think the best part of this episode was when Jackson goes deja vu, and Tilk's like, I'm unfamiliar with that term.
Yeah.
Means to feel like you've been here before. That is correct, Andrew Jackson. Yesterday, when we first arrived on this planet. Right. What was I thinking?
Just referencing Singularity a little bit before with some audio I found there. There was something in this episode that kind of reminded me a little bit of Singularity.
Listen, No.
No, no.
Sorry, you were gonna say. No, it's just that, well, I know.
You had
You
me
know
at
that
hello.
I know. It's obvious there's something wrong with us. Physically.
Well, there's nothing wrong with you.
What?
There's nothing wrong with you, Daniel and Jack. It's perfectly natural.
So were they getting angry at each other just because that?
Because they're
They're
getting
just getting
aggravated.
irritated, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
It was a pretty
Old
logical
mate.
argument between the two of them, though. Like, I believe they would have that argument.
I feel like it's the basis of the
Yeah.
whole series. It's just
Yeah.
those two, you know.
But then why, like, that's what I didn't get. Old bloody Baldy, he was just like getting so upset about them getting aggravated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then he fell over and I'm like, oh, okay, these guys, obviously their thing is they can't handle stress and it was a stressful situation. So they're all, so they're all fainting because of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's just too many what the heck moments.
Yeah. I think it's just one step too many.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a pretty accurate joke for this episode. But
What are their houses made up of?
Yeah, that's what I was just reading. Daniel Jackson attempts to communicate with aliens inside the huts.
Well, stop reading.
Oh,
we
he's-
want to
Are they-
speculate
are
first
they,
before
are they
you.
dirt? Do they shit it out?
Well, that's what I'm
and
thinking.
pile
Like,
it up?
surely they're not smart enough to
Well-
be building shit.
Their asses have been plugged up by paint.
Maybe that's why it's so strong. They can build huts out of it. Like it.
Out of ass paint.
Yeah, maybe like that is a skin around them, and they shit, and it just fills up that skin until they shed it like a snake,
It's like a snake.
and then they turn
Oh,
it into a hut.
And they just shed a bag of shit.
Yeah. So what you don't see
Let's live in it.
is they're like human dung beetles, and they just roll all these big piles of
totally.
shit, and then just roll it up and just excavate it out and live in it.
Do you think they're intelligent? Like, obviously they're like primitive, but
They fucking love plants.
I feel like they kind of are plants. Were they like?
yeah.
yeah, good
Poison
call.
They
ivy.
seem to be. Well, I was thinking
Bindies.
Zan from
Zen
Farscape
from
as well.
Farscape. Yep, good call.
Kind of like a sentient plant. The way they kind of have this symbiotic relationship with the magic mushrooms.
Oh,
Like
wouldn't
a-
it be good if
like
they,
a bee in a flower.
when the sun comes up, they have an orgasm?
Well, I feel like right at the end, the
Like
plants
Xander.
did.
That's totally it because they showed a shot of the
Yeah.
sunrise.
Well, and that's when the
Plants came out.
magic mushrooms popped open,
Yeah,
and you saw their flower.
yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm
Jesus.
thinking, like, while SG1 are there, the plants aren't sort of, blossoming.
Yeah.
And after like a day or two, they start becoming a little bit more sort of mindful. These aliens, they start to actually speak and be a little bit more, intelligent, because while SG1 aren't there and those plants are out, they're just really fucking high the whole time.
Yeah.
So when we come on, they're just coming down. Like this, like years
well,
long
it's like
high.
Huge hangover.
That's why they're
Is
walking
that-
funny.
Is that their food? Is that what they eat? Do they eat?
I guess they have. That's the thing. Like they've got their asses painted up, but we don't see them eat. Like surely their only form of communication with guests, with visitors, which they seem to have never seen before, is to maybe offer them food. I don't know what else they do in that village. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like they're not doing any activities. They're not playing sport.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
Was there any
Like-
point, Rhys, where you were thinking like one of those little buds on the plants was going to open up and have like a baby inside?
No. Sorry to disappoint you there, Matty.
I'm very
Not-
interested in
that never
using
crossed my
the
mind.
Cabbage
time we
Patch
have
Doll.
left of this podcast to investigate why you thought that, Matty.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I thought maybe they were plants and they were born. That could have been the reveal. They were born from those things.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because
They're
if their
like
holes
little-
are plugged up, where the babies come from?
There you go.
Were there women on that planet?
No.
When I say women, I mean like what we as humans see as women.
Well, other plants women? You said it was like bees and flowers.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, that's not bad.
you
do
really
they-
want babies to come out of those plants, don't you?
Well, they've got to have some kind of use, don't they? Like
Did you have a Cabbage Patch Doll as a kid?
How many?
what?
Cabbage Patch Doll.
Yeah, what's that got to do with anything?
Yeah, what, does
No, you said enough.
what does Josie have to do with this?
Who's Josie?
Cabbage Patch Doll.
you know.
I feel like I need the players to be more
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well,
don't know.
they are the
Stupid episode.
they are what keeps the humans alive. Well,
Yeah, but
humans,
once
people?
does it keep them from dying? Like, how do they
Yes,
procreate?
that's what I meant by keep them alive.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's-
It's their life force, basically. It's their oxygen, if you will.
but what about the other trees that weren't fake CGI mushrooms? Would they give them oxygen?
Yeah, but they're in Canada, so they have to stay there.
Didn't they say that at the start of the episode where they walked out and... Or was that just the deja vu? I actually thought that's where the deja vu line was going. Was to sort of, oh, well, we're back to this outdoor location to shoot.
Yeah.
No one can.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of false continuity in this episode. In a couple of episodes' time, there's a pretty important scene where Sam has a cut on her hand. There's
Oh,
quite
yeah.
an important plot point in a couple of seasons, and a lot of people think
Episodes.
in a couple of episodes, and a lot of people do believe that this is where she gets the cut, but it's actually a different cut, which is weird. You think there would be that nice bit of continuity between this episode and in literally 2 episodes' time. In this episode, she gets a cut on her left palm when she's trying to get the knife back from Nufty Head, whatever his name.
Yeah.
And then at the start of the
Nufty
episode,
Head.
He got scared by a sneeze. Yeah, he's
yeah,
enough the head.
yeah. But yeah, then literally in 2 episodes' time, Hammond is like, "Oh, how's your hand healing up, Carter?"
Yeah, right.
And she's got it sort of on her right hand in between her index and thumb, and it's kind of all blue and purpley and got a couple of stitches and stuff in it. And it's like a really key point to that
point.
to that episode.
Well, maybe it happens in Show and Tell.
I don't know. I wonder if maybe it was supposed to be a bit of continuity, but because the writer and director are different and the makeup artist might have been different, they didn't go back and look and see where the cut on the hand was.
No, you wouldn't.
To sync up. I mean, a
wouldn't
story editor might do that, but
No, you look at...
Not on this show, buddy.
or a co-producer or anything like that might look into
That
it.
would make so much sense.
One false
Well, we're
step.
we're sorry, listeners, if this is too short this episode, but you know you can't polish a turd.
Do you know what?
You can't live in a turd house.
Do you know what adds insult to injury? Is on IMDb. This episode is rated a 7.0. Emancipation is rated a 6.2.
You know, fair call, but.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's not joke. It's better than Emancipation.
Wait,
and
again,
it was a better knife fight.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, Carter and a bloody knife.
This,
Less is more with one false step.
Hey, she beat that warrior, couldn't beat the kid.
Yeah, fair enough.
this has the same rating as Need from this season.
Oh, that IMDb can f off.
Who's voting on this?
I know, right?
What's Rotten Tomatoes say?
Maybe we should talk about how Carter fixed it, because what did she do? Put a 6.5mm jack into the plant and blast.
Yeah, how did that work?
I don't know. Long audio waves.
Solar panels and stellar drift or something like that.
Yeah.
And do you trust that those locals aren't going to go and touch that thing and completely ruin
Mate,
it for
they're
themselves?
going to put a shit hut around it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
just a hut
maybe.
made of shit all the way around it.
I always assumed it was more to just get the plants to that frequency and then they'd continue like that forever.
And surely the bloody plant's got to heal itself after a while.
Yeah, like harden up.
Well, that goes for everyone in his bloody village. Come on, guys.
I know. You never seen a sneeze before, mate? Check this out. What do you think of that? Have a gander.
Give it a go, actually. It feels pretty good.
Yeah. It's 1/8 an orgasm, so they say. Oh, you don't know what that is?
We done?
No, just imagine like if it really went.
Don't worry. That's just me rubbing up against you.
The 6-hour walk back to the gate, they actually see one of these guys like just dicking the floor, the ground. He's found the root. He's dug himself a fucking glory hole.
There's one guy in a hut on his
Check
own.
that
In the,
shit out.
I think he's planking. This is like
What's he doing?
he walks
He's just watching them as they go.
and he walks back into the village, and he's just got a big green patch on his crotch and a smile.
and then he gets some and paints someone's face with it. It's like it's all natural.
fine.
It's natural oils and minerals.
Wow.
Well, that was weird.
That was really weird.
Weird ep for a weird ep.
Imagine Tilk just going, Oi, Jack, check this out.
All right, that'll do us. Episode 40 of Get Into Gate. One false step.
What a way to
Was it
rack
ever?
up.
Yeah, 40. Yeah, thanks a lot. This couldn't have been 39. Really? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Thanks,
Not
John
really a
Sanborn, and your
milestone.
kids that hate you.
Good one next week. Show and tell.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, this is a good week next week, Rhys-ifer, so I look forward to that one. If you've joined the show on this episode, I apologise it was this content, but we had some fun anyway. We continue to have fun with every episode. You can check out iTunes and Soundcloud for all of our old episodes. Find us on socials, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Get Into Gate, or drop us a line at getitogate@gmail.com. Myself, Mitch_Lewis, Twitter and Instagram. Maddie?
At High Pitch Maddie on Instagram.
Brendan, where do we find you?
At the Brendan Gibson on Instagram.
And Rhys.
I am at the Flying Gibson, and if this is the first episode you're listening to, can I just request that you go listen to another one a couple of weeks back or a few weeks back, and
Mate,
just don't.
If you're a Stargate fan and you've just found
Yeah,
our
you're not
podcast,
listening to
there's
this.
no way this is going to be the first episode you listen
way.
to.
Yeah, that would be a false step. That one.
GetIntoGeek.com.